What's up, everybody? It's your favorite curry soul to small penis. Today we're going to be talking about very sensitive topic. It's the topic about whether women are equal to men, and anybody with half a fucking brain would realize that it's not, because obviously thousands of years of evolution have sort of put men and women to fulfill different niches in society where men would fulfill, I guess, the brutal work. Even in other animals, one would have different niches, different jobs, or whatever, right? So it's pretty it's an obvious example, obviously, right? Pretty obvious to anyone that men and women are equal in physical strength. But the biggest and most controversial difference between men and women is just how their brains function. I guess the difference in the neuroanatomy. And since a lot of fucking Reddit soy boys just hecking love this science, I love this science. I want it. Oh, is there a source? Do you have a source for that? Do you have a source? Yes, yes, I have fucking sources that aren't pseudoscience. No, they're from respected universities, and they had a fuck ton. Like one of the samples had a shit ton of people participate, almost 320,000. And we're gonna look at whether men and women are equal in cognitive ability. So, are they? No, they aren't. Well, cont- contemporary. I can't fucking say that. Well, what's a feminists postulate the idea that women are equal to men and intellectual ability. This blame the lack of success of women in STEM not being able to get to the upper echelons of achievement in science to patriarchal to the patriarchy. So there's a secret conspiracy holding down the average vapid 21st century woman whose life constitutes nothing but fucking TikTok, finding some guy to fucking some Chad to fuck on Tinder. But somehow there's a secret conspiracy forcing them to just live a life of not having much intellectual achievements. So it's very sad these women aren't able to you know become go into the upper echelons of scientific achievement, right? So, is it true that men and women are just basically equal? Well, no, because there's something called an IQ test, which kind of is a decent metric for intelligence. It's not as decent as the study I'm going to get into next. So, we have a study with over 320,000 school pupils, and for all the three tests that they used in these school pupils, they found a substantial sex differences in the standard deviation of scores, with greater variance among boys. Boys are overrepresented relative to girls, both at the top and bottom extremes for all tests. And this is, I believe, something called there's just a general greater variance in traits, genetic traits in men, because it's better for it's better to survive for natural selection, I guess. So there's a lot of men in the massive upper echelons of IQ, like these guys who would just be winning Nobel prizes, who are autistic as fuck. They stay inside all day and just fucking study. Those type of guys, and you would have the low IQ fuckers, the poor grunts, the workers who aren't very bright. You see men at the top of society, right, and you see men also on the bottom of society who are just physical laborers, die in wars, etc. Right? So there is a huge gap, huge variance, not gap, variance in genetic traits that are present in men, right? So especially intelligence is something genetic. It's highly genetic. It's literally just gray matter in specific areas of the brain, right? So that's the the difference can be attributed to the difference. No, the difference between intellectual achievement between men and women be attributed to the IQ. But you might say, well, there's no proof for IQ. Blah, blah, blah. Well, we'll just look at neuroscience then, right? So this study shows that gray matter in the frontal cortex is strongly correlated with intelligence, and gray matter in the parietal and temporal lobes are positively correlated with intelligence. And this study was from, which university was it? Something. I remember writing this essay and publish it anywhere or anything. It was just a thing I did on my own, but from a reputable source, you can look through it yourself, right? It's pretty well known that men and women have different neuronal structures. In men, gray matter correlations are the strongest in the frontal and parietal lobes that are evenly distributed and identified as related to intellectual functioning as women. Had roughly 9 times more white matter voxels than they did. Can be concluded. Actually, it can't be concluded because the white matter and gray matter are kind of they might be different, but they on average have the same functions, right? They have the same functions, but you could attribute the more rationality in men and the more emotional reason with women to this gray matter and uh, white matter again areas, right? Frontal and parietal lobes. So yeah, and another funny thing was that the neuroanatomical structure of a woman is literally the same to a pathological liar, as in pathological liars showed a 22 to 26% increase in prefrontal white matter and a 36 to 42% reduction in prefrontal. Oh fuck, I've been pronouncing it whatever. Prefrontal gray white ratios compared with both antisocial controls and normal controls. Another study reported. So there's basically a lot of prefrontal white matter in pathological liars, and compared to men, one which are more white matter and fewer gray matter areas related to intelligence. One have more white matter in the frontal lobe, while men have more gray matter there. So I believe the lesser variance in IQ can be attributed to just these reasons of neuroanatomical differences, where one have more white matter. Just so basically they're midwits, right? They're just in the middle. They don't have much variance. They're strongly in the middle. They don't achieve that much, but they're pretty decent at some minor intellectual jobs. So you know what? Women are midwits, men are dumb as fuck, and also smart as fuck. And that's basically why we see these big differences in men and women. So really, it's kind of stupid to see men and women are intellectually the same, because the IQ needed to do some like pretty hard engineering jobs, some pretty hard like jobs like physics and shit like that is more logic, right? So women are deficient in those areas because if you look at it through just evolutionary sense, women were mostly just housewives. They were subordinate to men because men were stronger. It's a sad fact in biology, and women didn't have quality to men in terms of agency. So how would they survive? They would have to manipulate resources, and they would have to be good at dissimulation, concealing how they feel. They would have to learn all of these things, right? If they wanted to survive, they wouldn't really need these really wouldn't need these logical capabilities. They would just need to be good at manipulation, which is why their neuronal structures reflect this, right? The more prefrontal white matter. So yeah, we can just see women that directly adapted to being manipulators, being liars, fucking just this type of shit, right? And you know what? Just please stop fucking saying men and women are equal, because they're not. Just fundamentally different all levels. Women are not that. Women are pretty midwit. Shouldn't be in politics. They really shouldn't be in STEM unless they're very exceptional. Don't even come and say it's the fucking patriarchy. It's just biology. I'm sorry, but a lot of you people, yes, leftism. I don't know. Anyone who's kind of utilitarian, big on, is that the right word? Oh, egalitarian? I think egalitarian's the right word. Oh no, egalitarian. That's the right word. Kind of just everyone's equal, man. Everyone deserves equal rights. Fuck biology. I love science, but whatever you say that goes against my worldview is pseudoscience, and because I'm a redditor and I can only listen to a third of figures. I'm so stupid. I can't do research on my own. I have to listen to the government give an opinion that everyone's equal and that life is just oh, everyone's given the same fucking genetics and whatever, man. But like, seriously, no, it's genetics determine everything in a person's life, and sadly, women aren't really geniuses. I mean, I wish women were fucking smart as hell. Then maybe I wouldn't be in this predicament. Maybe they'd be a bit smarter and they wouldn't do this retarded behavior. You know, I guess like civilization's gonna fall because something I will get into Western civilization, in particular, mainly Fisherian selection, which is just sexually dimorphic traits being chosen in intersexual environments, which means woman choosing. That's what intersexual means. And in Fisherian selection is just something observed in like birds and shit. You might say, "Oh, humans aren't birds." No, just in general, sexual dimorphism, something selected by women because it's generally an indicator of health or it proved adaptive. So being tall in the caveman times would be fucking a decent thing, right? Being tall, being having a fucking strong jawline for some reason would be fucking good, I guess. Those are the things that are chosen as sexually dimorphic. But you might think, well, that's maladaptive if you choose a criminal who's very fucking stupid, is very impulsive, is sociopathic, but who would protect them, I guess, in an evolutionary sense. Who's kind of an alpha male, I guess, but would basically merit them an advantage a long time ago, not in modern civilization, obviously, but yeah, it's basically they've chosen men who are stupid as fuck, low IQ criminals to give them children, and that's why you see the IQ scores lowering. Specifically, higher IQ people don't actually have children that much, which is it's pretty much a veritable fact. You can look it up right now. You can look up all the geniuses who are fucking virgins, and even more rarer, women with high IQs, which is incredibly rare. Basically, I think the fucking cap is like 130 for women, but yeah. Anyway, that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed this amazing video.